Greetings, everyone. This is Gloria Zuba, and I enjoy delving into all things food and nutrition related. Today, I'm going to introduce you to the Diet History Questionnaire, third version, which I will just refer to as the DHQ3 from this point on. The DHQ3 is a freely available food frequency questionnaire for use with adults 19 or older. For those of you who aren't familiar with what a food frequency questionnaire is, it's a tool we use in the food and nutrition world to assess the frequency with which foods and/or food groups are consumed over a certain time period. This particular food frequency questionnaire includes a comprehensive food list and a frequency category section. By including portion sizes as part of frequency, the questionnaire allows for the estimation of food quantities consumed and of nutrient intakes. The information in this presentation was gleaned from the DHQ3 website, which I will make sure to share with you at the end. So let's get started with a brief history on the development of the DHQ3, which, as you can tell from the name, is in its third iteration. The original paper-based DHQ was created in 2001 by staff in the Risk Factor Assessment Branch of the National Cancer Institute's Division of Cancer Control and Population Sciences. A web-based version was then launched in 2005. The nutrient and food group database and portion sizes for DHQ1 were based on national dietary intake data from the 1994 to 1996 U.S. Department of Agriculture's Continuing Survey of Food Intake by Individuals, which was dietary recall data collected by the USDA on over 20,000 individuals over a 48-hour span of time. In 2010, DHQ2 was released. The DHQ2 Nutrient and Food Group Database was based on a compilation of national 24-hour dietary recall data from the National Health and Nutrition Examination surveys that was conducted from 2001 to 2006. Again, these 24-hour dietary recall data were used to decide not only which foods to include on the DHQ2, but what the portion sizes should be. This was available in both paper and web-based versions. The newest version, the DHQ3, was released in 2018 and is only available for administration in a web-based format. That was a good move for sustainability because the paper version was almost 150 pages in length. Like the DHQ2, the Nutrient and Food Group database for DHQ3 is based on a compilation of national 24-hour dietary recall data from the NHANES that were conducted from 2007 through 2014. DHQ3 consists of 135 food and beverage line items and 26 dietary supplement questions. Some line items for food and beverages have additional embedded questions that allow for final assignment to items in the Nutrient and Food Group database, which leads to a total of 263 foods and beverages being listed in the database. For example, a single line item asks frequency of intake and portion size of soda or soft drinks. Embedded underneath are questions regarding whether the soft drinks consumed are regular versus diet or caffeinated versus decaffeinated. Answers to these questions lead to assignment of one of 4 food codes in the database: diet soda with caffeine, diet soda without caffeine, regular soda with caffeine, or regular soda without caffeine. There are 4 DHQ3 questionnaires available in both English and Spanish, and they vary by time frame and inclusion of portion size questions. So, as a dietary practitioner or researcher, you can choose from these 4 surveys: food frequency over the past year with portion size, food frequency over the past year without portion size, food frequency over the past month with portion size, and food frequency over the past month without portion size. Now, to begin using this instrument, the researcher needs to go to the DHQ3 research website and create an account. The process is then very easy. All you have to do is click on a button that says Add New Study and enter details about that study. The DHQ3 includes the ability to customize your questionnaire, although items can only be deleted, not added, unless you contact the National Cancer Institute and have it approved. You will then need to generate passwords, and then you can go ahead and guide your respondents through the completion process. The DHQ3 was designed to be self-administered. However, there's absolutely no reason that an interviewer couldn't enter responses into the system for respondents who might require assistance. The DHQ3 also gives the researcher a comprehensive report and allows you to provide your respondents with a written nutrition report if they have completed it in full. Based on pilot study research for the DHQ1 that included about 400 individuals in one study and about 1,000 individuals in another study, the response rates for the paper-based DHQ1 varied from 70 to 85%, and it took an average of 1 hour to complete. Whether this applies to later versions of the DHQ is not known, and currently no such studies have been planned. There is the potential for a higher response rate due to the web-based administration, but on the other hand, we are used to getting our information more quickly now, and people may not be as willing to spend an entire hour of their time answering questions as they were 20 years ago. All right then, so how about we take a look at what this process looks like for the participant. And you'll see that it asks you whether you want to do this in English or Spanish. You can change that at any time during the process. It welcomes you, gives you instructions, and then you start the questionnaire. Wants you to enter your age. I'm going to put in 29 because, hey, 29 years ago, I really was 29. Ask for gender, continue. Okay, now it asks me to check the box next to each beverage that I drank at least once in the past 12 months. So I just go down through and check these. Milkshakes, no soda, water, lots of that, no beer, yuck, wine, coffee, oh yeah, iced tea, hot tea, green tea, herbal tea. Okay, let's continue. Now it's asking me how often over the past 12 months I have had each one of these items, starting with the tomato juice, and what my portion sizes were. And now I continue, and then you'll see that it's asking me about the next item that was on that list, orange juice. And it just goes through in that fashion for all of these different food groups. There are 219 nutrients, dietary constituents, and food groups available in the DHQ3 output files, and we'll just go ahead and take a look at what that includes. The DHQ3 analysis program is fully integrated into the DHQ3 web-based software. Nutrient and food group intakes based on questionnaire responses are automatically calculated and available on the researcher website. Within the analysis files, nutrient estimates from foods, beverages, and dietary supplements are reported separately. And you can see here the various food and nutrient groups that can be accessed. These include a variety of constituents under each group. For example, I can get various sugar reports under carbohydrate constituents, or take a look at individual amino acids underneath of protein constituents. I can also look at the various vitamins and their different forms. Now, 4 different analysis forms files are produced: a total daily results file with total nutrient and food group intake for each respondent, a detailed analysis file with nutrient and food group intake data by respondent for each food and supplement reported, an Excel formatted answers file, and a raw formatted answers file. That this one can actually be imported into any statistical program like SPSS. The data in each file is also available in CSV format. Now, there are no data cleaning or exclusion programs built into the software. Researchers need to clean it themselves and can decide which respondents to exclude from analyses based on dropout or other considerations, such as whether or not the respondent took the task seriously or not. They can also decide which nutrients or questions to exclude. Beyond correcting obvious coding or processing errors, outliers should also be examined and accounted for. DHQ 3 also provides a summary that you can provide to your respondents. The report indicates how, based on their responses, their nutrient and food group intakes compare to dietary recommendations. And you can see here that the nutrition report contains information regarding energy intake with comparisons to recommendations, percent of energy from macronutrients, servings of food groups compared to my plate standards, and also micronutrient intake compared to recommendations. There are also a variety of different educational blurbs and links embedded throughout. The content of the report can also be customized from the options menu on the researcher website. Customizing the report includes deleting items or adding other nutrients or any dietary constituents available in the analysis files. If it's not currently available in the DHQ3 database, it cannot be added. Without a doubt, there are potential sources of error that could contaminate the measurement of the DHQ3. Data from self-reported dietary tools are always subject to misreporting, so they're often criticized. Like Pinocchio, people sometimes have difficulty telling the complete truth when it comes to their dietary intake. Knowing that they have complete anonymity may help with this, although if you remember, the participant is asked for their age and gender at the beginning, meaning that their identity could be determined, especially in smaller studies. The DHQ website also states that it can be difficult to discern errors from possible exclusions. Food frequency data can also be difficult for some respondents to comprehend, leading to measurement error. Although no recent studies have been completed, 2 previous studies demonstrated that the inter-rater reliability of the DHQ-1 was high, and the instrument has been used in several research studies, with 3 studies that were conducted to assess its validity. There have been no such validation studies with the DHQ-2 or DHQ-3. However, there have only been minimal modifications to the food list and updates to the nutrient database. Data from these 3 studies did demonstrate that the instrument provided reasonably close nutrient estimates and that it was an improvement over previous food frequency assessment instruments, according to the DHQ3 website. Of course, there are some best practice considerations. The DHQ3 was developed using national dietary data from adults to specify the food items and portion sizes, and so it's not appropriate for administration to children in its current form. Therefore, it should only be used in adults 19 or older. To enhance validity, it is also vital that food frequency questionnaires be culture specific. The reference data and validation of the DHQ3 are representative of the entire U.S. adult population. Therefore, validation of the tool may vary for specific population groups, meaning that it may need to be modified. The DHQ3 should never be used with someone who is cognitively or numerically challenged, and it should be administered by the interviewer in cases of low literacy. To enhance reliability, the researchers should be cognizant of things like seasonal effects. This isn't as much of a concern in the yearly version as it is in the monthly version, where we would need to consider that dietary intake during the summer months, for example, can differ quite a lot from intake during the winter months. The National Cancer Institute has a long list of administration and data analysis considerations for researchers who use this tool for various types of research studies. Can this instrument be modified? With permission, yes. For example, Japanese researchers came up with an abbreviated version, which is a 4-page fixed portion questionnaire that asks about the consumption frequency of selected foods to estimate the dietary intake of 58 food and beverage items popular among the Japanese, like rice and miso. So it is specific to the Japanese culture. And the BDHQ, Brief Diet History Questionnaire, is a short version of the DHQ that assesses diet history during the previous month and is easily used in clinical settings. So now you all know a bit about the DHQ3 Food Frequency Questionnaire. Thank you for listening. If you are interested in learning more about this tool, please visit the DHQ3 website listed here.